Howdy folks, Nolo here. Today I want to talk about the latest free update to No Man's Sky. Yes, I know it's been out for more than a week, but still. The Orbital update is massive. It brings a huge overhaul to the space stations and a long-awaited feature by many. It's only been about a month since the last update, so the pace this year has been very good content-wise. This is the first major overhaul we've had since Interceptor. That's been almost a year since then. Don't get me wrong, Echoes was pretty expansive, but it didn't catch my eye enough to cover it. And same with Omega. Both great updates, but I didn't cover them. Now Orbital, on the other hand, this is a goated update. It brings me back to the good old days when updates used to hit hard. I mean like No Man's Sky Next, No Man's Sky Beyond, No Man's Sky Atlas Rises. This goes hard. First, let's talk about the space stations. That's what this update is named after, Orbital Stations. This is one aspect of the game that's been pretty much untouched for ages. We've had revamps to ships, new exocraft, 2 updates that changed the planets in a huge way, creatures, plants, all of them had work done. New assets, better textures, but stations remained pretty static. The exteriors have been virtually identical since launch, and the interiors received their last revamp in No Man's Sky Next. That's what, 6 years ago? 6 years ago. You know how much has happened in those years? The fact that Hello Games is sticking with this game still is mind-boggling to me. Orbital introduces gorgeously new procedurally generated space stations, inside and out. While the previous stations were not ugly by any means, they were not as procedural, and they were designed in a time when the game looked like this. The design style, although cute and minimalistic, has been walked away from. Recent content in the game has brought a more mature, detailed, and gritty sci-fi feel, all while staying colorful and full of wonder. Flying past these riveted on panels, all this detail, it's night and day. And fear not people like me who still miss the old station designs. They still live on in outlaw systems and in abandoned stations. I guess the taxpayer money wasn't going towards renovating all those pirate dens. Go figure. I love this attention to preserving some of the old in with the new. Abandoned stations have the OG interior layout from launch. Yes, launch. You can walk into these and see how the game used to look when it first came out. And the pirate station interiors are pretty much the same as when they launched because it's pretty recent, so it doesn't make sense for them to scrap that. But now regular station interiors are far more detailed, colorful, and varied. Before, you couldn't really tell that you changed space stations when you would teleport from one to the other. They were pretty homogeneous in design. The same colors, the same lighting. It's depressing in a game with 18 quintillion planets, and you can't even tell the difference between space stations. But no more. Stations now come in a dazzling array of color combinations, architectures, and even the lighting and the atmosphere varies. This is definitely something that you didn't know you needed until you have it. Some space stations look like cathedrals when you look up at the vaulted ceilings. It's crazy. Not only did I find a Home Depot style station, I found a Hello Kitty themed one as well, if that's something you're into. The color combinations are just insane. Another thing that got me hyped is all these moving parts and procedural elements that they added to the stations. Look at how the station core looks like GLaDOS in some systems.
How have you been? I've been really busy being dead.
And notice how the core is fed by this giant energy ball every few seconds. It's just so neat and oozes with charm, all these little details. This is no longer a bare bones, purely functional game space. This is a living, breathing station. The vendors have new storefronts. Even the cartographer and the guild reps have their own fancy stations. There are now more reasons to do missions for them, as each will give you free stuff and discounts, as well as accepting certain items as donations to increase standing. All that's pretty neat. Your standing with the different races also matters more now because you get discounts when buying technology mods with nanites, so that's also pretty cool. Along with these new station interiors comes a plethora of great station parts available to use in bases and freighters, including some of this great artwork by friend of the channel Kanaju. He designed a few posters and they use a few of them in these space stations, which is freaking awesome. I'm so happy for him. Hello Games, if you're listening, please hire me as well. I don't have this artistic skill, but maybe, I don't know, put me in as a cameo or something, make me an alien. Before I move on to our other flagship feature, I want to mention 2 other additions from this update. Firstly, that your frigates out on missions will now ask you for help, either making a decision or even fighting a battle. And the results of said decision affect what rewards you get on that mission. It's pretty great to see these older features getting some love, as it's a really nice touch. Speaking of older features getting attention, new trade surges allow for even more profits for those who like to make money on trade routes. Very cool. I'm all for them going back and fleshing out these older gameplay loops. I really hope that the settlement system gets some love soon because it's a bit lacking at the moment. Fingers crossed. And if you like this content, overhaul that subscribe button and consider becoming a channel member. Members get exclusive videos, early access to some content, and even a discount on merch at nolodrip.com. Oh wait, yeah, my old domain nolopada.com was mishandled by a merch store company, but fear not, you can get all this Nolo swag under this new video or by visiting nolodrip.com. And now for the next flagship feature, custom ship building. I'ma be real, I'm more of a ship hunter myself, but this is something that a lot of players have been wanting for a good while, and I can see why now. Fear not, ship hunters. If anything, this allows for even more ship hunting, because each scrap ship only gives one part that can only be used on one ship build. And naturally spawned ships retain a special designation saying authenticated starship, meaning no, I didn't just build this one, I found this exact design and color combo in the universe somewhere, which is pretty neat. To me, my favorite part is being able to use colors that don't occur in the wild, and I'll probably make a fleet of similar colored ships pretty soon. For right now though, we could only make fighters, haulers, and explorers, so no solar ships and no interceptors. But the trailer in the patch notes shows shuttles, so we might be able to get some more ship types soon, who knows. All in all, this update is pretty game changing relative to the updates we've had recently. I didn't even mention that we got improvements to reflections and to the rendering engine, allowing for larger interiors. Hopefully this means that more rooms are coming to the station soon. I think that's hinted at because if you look in the side of the station, you can see that there's a bunch of doors but they have no access yet. Or perhaps in the future we can finally use those overrides that we've held on for so many years and finally own a space station, maybe even build on it. It's pure speculation folks, but with Hello Games putting out bangers like this one, you never know what's in store. This has been Nolopada, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to catch you on the next one.